A group, the Pan-African Forum, wrote to President Museveni of Uganda about Africa's unity challenges. Now, they talked about Morocco's occupation of Western Sahara and language divisions causing problems in the African Union, that's the AU elections. Now, while urging Museveni to support Raila Odinga for AU Chairperson come 2025 and also promote unity and transparency, they also recalled Colonel Gaddafi's vision for a united Africa and warned against external forces working against African independence. Now, speaking to us on this, we have David Matsanga. He's an African Affairs Analyst all the way from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Good evening, David. Thank you for joining us at this time.
Good evening. Thank you very much. In Lagos, it is as hot as it is in Dar es Salaam. Yeah. We are on the same axis. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, David, now you're part of the group. You're the chairman of the Pan-African Forum. Now, can you give us an overview of the idea behind this particular statement? Why was it directed at President Museveni and also its importance to your group?
First of all, we have seen a lot of divisions, and I want to thank the African millions and the millions of people watching me tonight, that since 1963, we have been divided. We were divided into two groups, one the Casablanca group and the Monrovia group, which was a very bad state of things that brought Africa to where we are. These divisions continue to be there all the time. They are here with us. Every election that we go in Africa, you find groups teaming up in Francophone and Anglophone. So for us, we saw the danger that this is going to bring. And we are calling upon one of the eldest statesmen of Africa, a man who sees Africa, a man whose vision, who sings Pan-Africanism, President Museveni of Uganda. I notified him that this is going to be a crisis. I fully support one person from, by name, the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister of Kenya, Raila Odinga. But we are already in a crisis that Morocco still has a proxy. It works as a proxy of some states across in the metros in Europe to come and divide us on the Anglophone and the Francophone. So that's why I brought these notes to the people, to the African heads of state, to everybody in Africa to know
that
since. Yes.
All right, Mr. Matsanga. Now, one of the main concerns expressed in your statement is that external forces are the root causes of disunity that still haunts African Union to date, and you blamed it on Morocco. Now, can you give us a historical context to support your argument on this?
Morocco left African Union. It left 42 years ago when the organization was Organization of African Unity. In 2018, we made a mistake to actually welcome it back. I don't have anything to hide, and I'm telling Africans to hear me. Morocco occupies Western Sahara. The only territory on planet Earth that is still occupied is the Western Sahara. And we are members of African Union. Now, how do we allow one member to sit amongst us who has occupied another country when its people are in exile, refugees, suffering in camps all over Africa? And we allow them to come to sit on our table. That is one argument. The biggest argument is we have told time and time again, when Morocco was not in African Union, we were not divided like this. The other election of 2018 that brought in Dr. Mohamed Faki, Morocco introduced corruption. And I want to warn African heads of state that I have evidence. We have full evidence to that type that corruption played a bigger role in selecting the chairperson, Dr. Mohamed Faki.
Yes, all right. Speak to us about this, your claim of corruption in the African Union elections. What did you mean by the vision of money replacing the vision of unity in the African Union?
It has brought in money from France, Total Oil. Don't you see yourself? Even our own football. Our own football on the continent of Africa, AFCOM, is captured by Total Oil. We have companies in Nigeria, Safaricom in Kenya, MTN in South Africa, Uganda, telecoms in Egypt. We can put our money together as Pan-Africans and Africans and sponsor our football. Now, why I have brought up this pains any Pan-African. If Kwame Nkrumah rose up, if Nyerere woke up, if Jomo Kenyatta woke up, if Patrice Lumumba woke up and saw that we are captured, we have no say. Every decision has been captured. Anything that goes on, if you look at the conflicts that are taking place around the region, especially your region, conflicts are coming because there is a metro, a state in the metros of Europe called France that has actually come and captured our organization. So we have no breathing space. I am simply asking for breathing space. Leave us alone. You have come with money. You dictate who should be the chairperson of African Union. And I've captured evidence because some of them came to me asking me that if you want money, you support Djibouti. I said, oh my God, is this what these people are doing? I don't want money to support anybody. I want to support a person who has got credibility. And this evidence is traced back to the Kingdom of Morocco. Morocco itself does not want it even applied to become a member of European Union. Therefore, why did we bring in a member that comes in to teach us bad manners when we have been suffering a member that has occupied another territory on African soil? We liberated Africa, and now we have a territory that is occupied by Morocco. And we sit with Morocco and play with it, laugh with them when they have occupied Western Sahara. No, this has got to end.
All right, David, can you speak to us on the impact of language and the role it plays in the divisions within the African Union? You did say that Africa is divided, based on Anglophone and Francophone blocks.
Look at the Anglophone bloc. Since 2002, only the heads of African Union or the African Union have been coming from one place. That is the French-speaking countries or former French colonies. 5 of them. There has never been only one person from an English-speaking country. That's South Africa, Madame Dlamini Zuma. It has been that following, and that is a division. That's not an election anymore. We are just simply bringing in divisions within the African Union. Therefore, we need a framework, a change of electoral college, a system that can balance so that people are selected on merit, not people selected on whether you speak English or you speak French or whatever it is. They even go further to say, you must have French, you must have this. We have introduced Swahili, which is our African language. Why have we borrowed these languages? Why do we bring them into African Union? So for my point here is this, to fellow Africans, and listen to me carefully. The people who formed this organization formed to fight neocolonialism, formed to fight imperialism that was killing Africa. Now we have subjected ourselves because of the poor management at the African Union, the poor management at the Secretariat. We don't know what to do. So many conflicts have multiplied. All countries, Libya has been divided. And the current chairperson continues to supervise a country called Libya, divided by France and other countries and other states like the United Arab Emirates. They have divided this country, Libya, into 2, Benghazi and Tripoli. How can we sit in an African Union of that nature? Look at the way in Congo. Look at the military coups. Look at the military coups in West Africa. People are going away. They have been suspended. But when we come to Chad, we never suspended Chad. Was it not a military takeover? Look at what is happening in Sudan. Is it not enough for us to wake up and say Africa needs people to resolve this conflict?
All right, now, David, speaking of Libya, and you did talk about a single system, what is the link, or what link does the legacy of Colonel Gaddafi and the significance of having a united Africa with a single currency? Because in your statement, you did say that he fought for African unity.
Look at what Gaddafi was telling us. Gaddafi was right with the group of Casablanca. Apparently, it was again in Morocco when it was decided that let's have African unity first, economic development will follow later. Gaddafi wanted a united Africa, an Africa with a currency, an Africa without borders, an Africa without visa restriction. Look at the discrimination between Nigerians and South Africans. A woman who is born in Africa, you tell her that she is not supposed to be your Miss World. She's not an African. She's told to go. You even refuse to give visa to a Nigerian team until Africa makes noise. Then you give them visa. That type of division in Africa is what Gaddafi did not like. So Gaddafi said this truth. That's why he was killed. And the people who killed Gaddafi are still there. They still come to Africa for holiday. Sarkozy, for example, masterminded resolution 1970 and 1973, all those resolutions of the United Nations Security Council. And went before African heads of state could remove Gaddafi. Sarkozy had already commanded, France had already started bombing Gaddafi's country. Today, Libya is divided. France is taking oil every day, stealing oil. It is not even taking, it is stealing oil from every day, from the side of Benghazi, of General Khalifa Haftar. Why are we having a special army of almost about 30,000 rebels in the corridor of the Nile? I have been there, I've walked there, I've evidence to show who supports this army, for example. We have a lot of problems to solve. So we need a person who is not going to be in the pockets of the French hegemony that has destroyed 3/4 of Africa. Okay. Tell me one country in Africa, a French-speaking country, my sister, which is not having a war. Show me. Show me. Central Africa is under war. DRC Congo under war. Libya under war. In Sudan, the French are somewhere. I've seen them somewhere in Jamena. Very many of them. What are they doing with the rebels? With the other side of Sudan? What are they doing? They are giving arms. I still speak for my Africa. And I will continue to speak for my Africa until we get a better African Union commissioner, a chairman who will look after the interests, who will say enough is enough. We have enough resources on African continent. Surely. Okay. Ourselves, we can make money. We can bring money. We can find other ways of raising money. We can create our own African Union Bank, which can actually give loans to small enterprises and small farmers in groups so that they can contribute to the existence of African Union. Why do you go on begging? We are begging France to support us. Why? That's why it's France, the beggar.
Okay. David, now, earlier you said that you refused to collect bribes, from some people who wanted you to vote for a candidate who wasn't of your choosing. What specific actions, does your group want or urge President Museveni to take in order to support Raila Odinga's candidacy for the AU Chairperson?
Raila Odinga, I fully support him 100%. Whether we get 2 votes, mine and him, let's have it. But we shall remain the real African pure, because we think there is a way. The people who came, who told me, oh, you can support, come here, we support you, we support this country, there is a lot of benefit. I am not interested in money. I've defended so many countries, including country like Zimbabwe without having $1 from either Mugabe, who died today some 5 years ago, and Mnangagwa. They have never given me $1. I defended them everywhere in Europe when they could not go there. So I am not going to be subjected to small change of money and sell my principles. My principles are very clear. The situation of money creeping into elections is what causes Africa wars. You know that very well. If you buy a chairman, if you pay for the chairman to be elected, Total Oil paid. I found a lady, a woman, bribing a minister of foreign affairs. I took a camera, my pen, I have a special pen that took pictures, and I gave it to the late Mugabe, and may his soul rest in peace. I gave it to Mugabe. The following morning, Mugabe, after looking at the picture, the minister pocketing $50,000 of money, he sacked the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I am happy. Such presidents on the African continent must be there. We are not going to allow to go into an election with Morocco running around. We want Morocco to leave Western Sahara, come clean on our African Union, surrender this territory to African Union, surrender the territory to the people of Western Sahara. Let's have a Sahrawi Republic, which is based in Western Sahara. We cannot have a Sahrawi Republic in exile. No, we have had enough.
All right, Mr. Matsanga. Now, just before we let you go, we'd love to hear your final thoughts, and especially on, again, how you feel that African Union can achieve true sovereignty and independence.
First of all, it can achieve true sovereignty and independence by collecting its own money, by funding models. I like what President Ruto of Kenya suggested. Let's start ourselves. Kagame, His Excellency, my brother Kagame, a great guy from the Great Lakes region, a freedom fighter like Dr. Matsanga. He did bring proposals. Let's be paying ourselves as Africans. Imagine if every African head of state, every country paid $3 million a year or $3 million a month. We have enough resources on the African continent. But we allow people to divide us. Every time we want to unite, these countries, the European countries, come in, or they give us, oh, if you support this one, we shall give you a hospital. If you support Djibouti, oh, Dr. Matsanga, we shall allow you to do this. No, not me. I support people on principle, and I have supported Raila Odinga on principle. I support Polisario on principle. I don't mind how many people will vote for me. In the last elections, I was in the African Union itself when Dr. Amina Mohammed of Kenya, my presidents that I talked to, the people, friends of mine on African continent, over 20 of them know me. When I enter their countries, they don't ask who is here. They know me. I don't go there with trouble. I don't go there to do anything. I go there to preach an African spirit. Therefore, I will stand firm and say, we need to change African Union so that it's self-reliant. It must sustain itself. It must have structures, good structures of governance. It must have civic education spread around the whole Africa. We are not doing it. We wait for elections. People fight, then we come in. Why do we wait for people to fight? Poor leadership. Poor leadership. Okay. A leadership that is paid by Morocco, that is sponsored by France, that is sponsored by external forces, can never work for Africa. That's where we have got a very big problem. Therefore, for me, everywhere I will go independently. I don't need permission to campaign for Raila Odinga. He's a freedom fighter like me.
Okay.
He has been in exile like me. So we shall struggle together and see the number of votes that we get. But I wanted to bring to the notice of His Excellency, my president, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that there is a danger here of Morocco trying to confuse, divide us in Pan-African Parliament, you find people fighting on the floor. You saw people fighting on the floor. English speakers.
All right, Mr. Matsanga. We have to wrap up here, but thank you so much for your take and also for speaking to us on African unity. We appreciate you for your time.
Thank you very much. And I want to show you this is what I got. This was given to me. And I am not just speaking because of a man of yesterday, of a street. No, this is my present for African unity. I thank you very much for calling me here. Yeah. And I will always continue to do so, to come here. God bless you. God bless millions of Africans watching.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. That was David Matsanga, Africa Affairs Analyst from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.